Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope all is well with each and every last one of you. Happy Sabbath day. This is a pre-recorded video, but we're coming in to give our Sabbath day messages for this platform. All praises to the Most High. Alright, so we're going to start out first with a spell it and tell it. This is a type of reading I really enjoy doing. And so it's not going to be something that I'm going to stop doing. But I enjoy the spelling and tellings. All right. I have added some additional cards in this. So it will be a little different. Okay. Depending on what cards actually comes out with this spelling and telling. Okay. I did change it up a little bit. We're not going to be in a hurry. We're going to take our time with it. We're going to take our time with this spelling and telling. And as you guys know that moving forward, my other videos will be posted on other platforms. But Spirit just kind of informed me, instead of me just kind of sticking with that, we're going to grow the ministry page. So if you don't want to, if you're not subscribed to any of the other platforms, you still can find the messages that I post on the other platforms on my Victory Over Destitute ministry page. So it's right here on YouTube at VODM. Okay? No, VOD Ministry. That's how it's written. Okay? So I'm not going to be kind of making it anything difficult. Okay? I don't worry about no numbers, but I'm doing my part by continuing to do what the Most High need me to do. Okay, whether if people see the videos or not. All right, I'm gonna continue to do my part. All right. Okay. So, as I said, you guys, I have changed up the flow a little bit. So this spelling and telling will be a little different because now instead of me having letters, okay, we also have weeks, months. We have additional when it comes to time. We have days in here now as well, okay? So, and I'm doing it as I go because, as you guys know, I like people to see what I do. I don't want nobody to think I'm doing anything, trying to make a reading sound any type of way. That's why I like to just do everything right on camera, okay? Now, we got quite a bit of letters. Trying to make me a little space here so we can kind of see what we got. Okay. Now this is my first time actually coming forward with this deck. Okay. I can say that. This is my first approach with this setup that Spirit gave me to do with the spelling and tellings. So it may be a little time consuming until I get into a flow of how I'm being led to utilize and do these messages. But just bear with me. I know I have a message here for you. But like I said, this is my first attempt in doing it with all the additional added. Okay. All right. So we got everything placed out in front of us right now. Okay, we're gonna start with the, let me move this out the way. All right, we don't have too many letters, but we do have months, We have days of the week out here. We have numbers out here as well. Okay. So I think that's how we'll flow first. We'll go in and get the numbers out of the way. So let's start with the numbers we have first. The number 3. All right. First number we have is the number 3. So let's go on and get the numbers out the way, Spirit, and then I'm going to kind of maneuver my way down to the rest of this, okay? All right. So with the number 3, it talks about binding, it talks about yoke. A lot of people like to utilize number 3 as being a part of the threesome, but the way Spirit gave me the number 3, it talks about binding, yoke. All right. We have the number 20, the number 20. It talks about distress, and it also talks about tremble. So it may be some type of distress, anxiety going on with somebody or people's or whatever. Okay. And we also have here the number 25. Okay. That represent the payment for sin. All right. I don't believe in sin, so I would look at it as the payment for wrongdoing. Okay. All right. So we also have out here 28. 28 is lined up in 4 weeks. So that talks about the Christ in you, and it also talks about holy temple. All right. I don't believe in a lot about holy either. Either you're gonna be in the upright or you're gonna be on the not so upright. Okay. But it talks about a firm foundation, a steady foundation. All right. We have the number 21. There it go. It talks about what? Lawlessness. Okay. Lining back in with the 3. You get a table with 3 legs, it's not going to be all that stable, right? Okay. 4 legs is better than 3, right? Okay. So that talks about the appointed time. So I'm kind of seeing some significance when it comes into these numbers right here. Okay. From the 3 to the 20 to the 25, I see the 21, 28. I'm seeing a little bit of significance even when it comes just in those numbers right there. Okay. Now, the month we have is July. All right. We know we're currently in the month of May. This could have been a July anytime. All right. Just be attentive to the message, all I say. And we have 2 days of the week out here. We have a Tuesday and we have a Friday out here. Okay. All praise to the Most High. All right. Now the letters we have is B, J, Q, G, P, L, R, S, and I. Okay. A lot of times when I see that BJ, it kind of can line me up to the high priestess, okay, because of the significance of the actual card. All right. Um, I also see here GP could be something significant with somebody's grandpa. All right. I see LR. That right there tells me maybe somebody also could be going to a labor room for birth. Okay. Giving birth. Okay. GP also is taking me to group. RIP can take me to a rest in peace. SIR can take me to somebody being acknowledged as sir. LIP talks about the lip. GRIP tells me somebody trying to want to grip. Q is putting in my spirit as a plaque. SIP tells me about a SIP. And we're gonna kind of stop it there. So we had a multiple amount of words that we was able to say here. Okay. So since we're already in this area with the letters, we're gonna go on and see what Spirit is saying here. Okay. All right. So Spirit, I named a lot when it comes to the words. So now we want to tell about some of those words or all of those words if it's significant with today's message. First one we have is a King of Pentacles coming out. That's somebody that could be business oriented. Okay, not only that, they could be some person that has some form of leadership. Okay, it also can talk about the prosperity. Okay, the generosity, and I said that somebody could be kind of called upon as being a what? A sir. Okay. All right. My King of Pentacles is the Most High. All right. Tell us more. We started with a King of Pentacles. We have here the Chariot. Now the Chariot, that sound talks about the movement. Okay, it lines in with some type of movement, making progress. Okay. Also could talk about actions as well. All right. Determination, willpower. Okay. Somebody may know the direction they want to take. All right. And next from that, we got the Three of Swords out here. We already had the number 3 out here, right? Okay. That talks about the heartbreak. Okay. The suffering, grief. Okay. It also can talk about depression, betrayal. Okay. All right. Line in with something we already talked about, right? Okay. So tell me more here. We got also the Six of Cups that talks about familiarity. Something could be familiar to somebody, okay? Something could have been spoken. We see the BJ. I told you sometimes it kind of can put me in a line with the high priest when I see that because of the significance of the card, okay? It also could talk about just being happy. It could talk about reunion, okay? So somebody may be traveling somewhere or want to travel somewhere. Okay. All right. Tell me more here, please. We see an emperor coming out here. Emperor is somebody that's kind of like into leadership, just like the King of Pentacles. Okay. It's somebody that most people would give a lot of respect to, still lining in with that SIR, right? Okay. It also talks about that structure, okay? Talks about the rules of things. Somebody that kind of know about the law and rules, okay? Somebody could have some form of power and authority, okay? Somebody that's also practical, okay? Tell me more. We got here 4 swords, so somebody may be rejuvenating, maybe going on some type of getaway, take a trip, vacation, maybe to rejuvenate, to retreat. Okay. It also talks about somebody being in solitude, spending some time alone as well, thinking, reflecting. Okay. And we have here an Ace of Wands. Now that talks about working on new projects, new inspiration, new feeling, desire about something. Somebody have an urge to create something. Okay, they have the power to do it as well. Okay, maybe they could see somebody's potential as well. Talks about a new opportunity of growth. All right. Next, we have here a page of swords coming out. So this page of swords that talks about those new ideas. Okay. Not only that, somebody could be curious about something as well. And then it talks about a thirst for knowledge. Somebody maybe want to know something again, lining in potentially, even with a high priest. We have here somebody could have been spying as well. Okay, the negotiating. It could be some information going on. Could be even something about a message. All right, something like that. And next we got here the judgment card coming out. Now that talks about just that. It could talk about a new phase. Okay. It could talk about awakening. Okay. Also can talk about redemption. Okay. And also it can talk about forgiveness and mercy as well. Okay. Next we have the Knight of Swords coming out here that talks about that ambition. Okay. It also can talk about somebody being brave, driven to succeed. Okay. And also it can talk about defending beliefs and a truth seeker. Okay. And we have the Nine of Wands. Again, talks about that persistent courage. Okay. Resilience. Okay. Having a test of faith. All right. It also can talk about gearing up for the worst. Okay. Or being defensive. Okay. Or defending yourself. Okay. And then we have here ending it almost like we finished it. We got the Three of Cups. That talks about that collaboration, friendship. Okay. Could be some celebration. Talk about happiness and community. So some of those words could have lined in with what we just spoke in the message. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about what we have at the top. So first we're going to use this deck right here. And we're going to focus in on what is it about July. What is it about July? So let's see about July. This could have been a July at any time because it seemed like I only talked about one or two people's in that whole message I just did. So maybe one of those one or two individuals they needed to hear this message. Okay, this could have been just a specific message for maybe one or two people. So tell me about July. All right. It says whatever you did in July was a waste of your time. Okay. So with it, it's saying a waste of your time. Tells me somebody may have started doing something or plan to do something in the month of July, but I more so pick it up as whatever was done. Okay, I'm looking, it's going back. All right, because if I'm not mistaken, we did see a Six of Cups come out, right? That's going back. All right. So whatever you did in July was a waste of your time. Okay. Now, what's going on with Tuesday? Now, this can be a Tuesday at any time. Okay. Tuesday it says timing is pushed back due to what? Blockages. So that's really a little confirmation. All right, I said I was going back then. Okay, so on Tuesday, um, whatever you did Tuesday, you should have been further along. Okay, because you were supposed to have been further ahead in whatever you did on Tuesday. Okay, so if you can think back to Tuesday, with today being Saturday, if you can think back to Tuesday, you should have been just as far along. Okay, but however, timing is being pushed back because what? Due to what? Blockages. And please make sure you listen to my word of warning, because I already got those cards already out as well, because of how big and thick the decks are. So I'm talking to somebody, and you also need to hear that word of warning, okay? All right. So let's go now to Friday. Let's go back to Friday. Tell me something about Friday. It says by the end of the day. By the end of the day. So with this being Friday, we see Tuesday. Tuesday you were pushed back. Should have been further along in whichever you did on Tuesday. But Friday, something may shift. Something may shift on Friday. So yesterday, something happened. Something happened. All right. Now, so that's our months and our week. We see what went on with that. So Spirit, how you want me to look at these additional numbers? Keep the same deck or what? Okay. Spirit saying, I'm gonna go back to tarot. Same cards I used with the letters. All right. Okay. So we got 4 weeks. Number 28. And we already said the number 28 talked about Christ, the Christ in you. Okay. Talks about the Holy Temple. All right. Something about 4 weeks. All right. So tell me more. You got a 5 of Wands. Okay. Now this 5 of Wands, they can talk about competition. Okay. It can talk about debates, rivalry. Okay. Conflict, disagreement. And we talked about what? Strife. And we already said who carries some strife in them in the letters, didn't we? Okay, so whatever this may have something to do with, it could have something to do with the person that in that situation. All right, territorial. Okay, so it's something particular about 4 weeks. So in 4 weeks, maybe something will be a little bit more something. All right, because I'm feeling a need to not go deep into this. Okay, and I'm not. 3 weeks. Number 21. That talks about what? The lawlessness, appointed time, and there go the hierarchy. There go the hierarchy, appointed time. So I see what I'm seeing there. But my spirit's saying let you figure that part out. What I see. Alright. Alright. So we're gonna use the same deck on the number 3, 20, and 25. Okay. We're just gonna go over the section right here on the one card. On the one card. Number 3 talks about what? The bind. Talks about the yoke. So we got an alliance. So maybe it's some type of alliance, or some people, somebody that's in some form of a group or something, okay? Maybe they gain some type of trust, honesty about something. So I feel like within this alliance, there's gonna be some realization about something, okay? When it comes to the binding and the yoke. Maybe it's gonna be some type of organization or entity or something like that. They're gonna start looking back, or either it could be with something dealing with religion itself. But they're gonna go and they're gonna reevaluate, and they're gonna find out they done made some type of contract, connection, agreement with something to the point where it was doing just that. Realization. All right. Number 20. 20 talks about the distress, the trembles. Tell me about this number 20. There go the hesitation. Because what? Somebody gonna get some type of realization about something. I just felt that, right? I just told you that it gonna cause somebody to really be in some hesitation about something. Somebody may even gonna have to come honest with something. They're gonna have to tell the truth about something they've been knowing something about, but apparently didn't tell a whole bunch of people. We already said the number 20 talks about what? The lawlessness. This hesitation card, it talks about what? Decision, confusion, and worry. Final card, card number 25. I said the number 25 line in with what? Payment for your wrongdoing. Tell me about the 25. I don't know, it's just something about this one. What it say, Susan? You got daydream. Daydream is actually coming in the reverse, but it was something about that card. I'm gonna put it back. Daydream actually coming in the reverse because you're gonna see it from your own eyes. I know that much. Okay, tell me more about this 25. I feel like I missed it. We on the 25. There we go. Look at that. Natural disaster. There you go. Talks about risk, frustration. Talks about survival. And that's what? For the lawlessness. right, Spirit. So this is our spell it and tell it. I hope y'all kind of like the layout, kind of help you guys. Moving forward, this is the way I'm gonna be doing them. I'm not gonna just focus on the letters, but I'm gonna also bring you a little bit more of an insight. All right. So since I have quite a few messages to do for this page for today, we're gonna end this here. Our praise to the Most High, and we're gonna come back with our next message. All right. Actually, I'm gonna come back with the word of warning because somebody need to hear that word of warning. Okay. All right.